Hello, I'm Dalton Delan. I'm a columnist for the Berkshire Eagle, and this is Eagle Reels, where we take you beyond the news. My very special guest today, multiple Grammy award-winning artist, Keb Mo. Welcome, Keb.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for taking the time. Now, you're coming to the Mahaiwe in Great Barrington on June 15th, Keb. And I know you live in Nashville, maybe also a little in LA and other parts, but much experience in the Berkshires?
Well, I've been there. I don't know how much experience I have. You know, I go to so many places, and I stay there one day. And then I go out the next day, and it's just a blur of the place with the Berkshires. I remember the Berkshires. I guess that's a big resort now, vacation place.
Well, there's the Tanglewood Music Festival and stuff.
The Berkshires.
Right. Anyway, okay. Well, compared to Nashville, I know. So you have, in addition to your 5, I think, Grammy Awards, correct me if I'm wrong, you performed in 2 of my shows at the White House under Obama. One of them, the Red, White, and Blues show with Mick Jagger. Any memories of those?
Great memories. That was really great. Everybody was there. A lot of folks were there. Jeff Beck, Mick Jagger, Buddy Guy, B.B. King, the late B.B. King.
Yeah.
Brand new Gary Clark Jr., Shamika Copeland. It was quite the event. Booker T was the MD.
You got it.
Yeah, man.
And you were great, as you always are. And more recently, you performed in a tribute to Garth Brooks for the Gershwin Prize, which was actually an event that I co-created with several friends and the Library of Congress.
What a great event. What a great event that was. And you know more about me than I know about myself.
Well, Garth is one of the nicest guys in showbiz. Have you guys collaborated?
He's not one of the nicest guys in showbiz. He is the nicest guy in showbiz.
I think that's true too. I thought
I was nice,
Well, I think that's true too.
He looked like the Grinch, He's really been very nice. I've never met anyone that said like Garth was, just nothing. It's just like he's real. So it was really honored to be at that event.
Now, Garth is a human jukebox. I think he even calls himself that. He might have even done that stunt, I think, in that show.
He did.
In that regard, Kev, he kind of reminds me of Bob Dylan, who also brought to the White House another time. And he has, I think both Garth and Dylan have this encyclopedic knowledge of music.
Yeah, they do.
You are multi-instrumentalist. I think you started, correct me if I'm wrong, some steel drums and calypso.
Yeah.
You play a lot. Can you tell us a little bit about how that all came to be?
Well, I started out on the trumpet. And of course, me being of a lesser discipline than most, trumpet is one of the most disciplined instruments you can play, And so I did that, and I had a love of music, but not necessarily the discipline of the trumpet. And so I had the good fortune of running into a person on my block who moved to in this very house, right down the street over there. I started playing steel drums right down the block. And I heard it, and my friend Carlos came and got me and said, "Let me show you this." And I went over there, and he started playing steel drums, and his dad heard it. And we're like, "Oh, those kids, maybe something." So we formed this kid steel band on the block, and we got pretty good. And for a while, we started doing gigs, and yeah, it was good.
Did that music of the Caribbean speak to you for any particular reason, or just the rhythm, percussion?
Well, the rhythm, it encompassed Trinidad, Cuba, and all the rhythms and those, because there was a conga player in the band, in the steel band. And I learned all those rhythms, Cuban rhythms, from the conga player, and I learned all about, the different instruments, the clave, the cowbells, and how you put those rhythms together. And I was quite excited. And then this is the garage. I learned how to play drums in this garage, and now I'm trying to turn it into a studio, little mini studio. And it's a very small house, but this is the garage I'm in.
So I can say to you, more cowbell?
More cowbell. I love cowbell. Yeah, one must know what to do with a cowbell. A cowbell is not a toy.
There you go.
Powerful instruments can drive a whole band with a cowbell. Mm-hmm.
Now, at what point in your growth as an artist, because, obviously you're, have many genres, but you're a master of the blues. And one other thing I know you share with Bob Dylan is having played with Big Joe Turner. And can you tell me how much you were exposed to some of those blues greats, of which I think we now can agree you are one?
Well, the first time I met Big Joe Turner, I was 21 years old at Paramount Recording Studio in Hollywood. And Big Joe Turner walks in. I don't know. And he started singing. That's the biggest voice I've ever heard. Huge, he was sent from heaven. And it was a song on the Papa John Creech album, Filthy Funky, called Give Me an Hour in Your Garden. And I'll show you how to play on the rules. He opened his mouth, and I just went, whoa, and also Harmonica Fats was on that session too. I had a producer named Miles Grayson. He started things like, so it was quite, I have to say I was really underqualified and very fortunate to be on that session. But I mean, Papa John was really nice. He gave us our starts, all of us in that band. And we were very grateful to him.
You played quite a bit with Papa John Creech, I think, in both the Airplane and the Starship incarnations, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And was Grace Slick with them? Did you work with her at all?
I didn't play with the Starship,
Just Papa John.
He said during that
right.
thing. Yeah, but Grace Slick was I met her one time, maybe twice. But that was they were up in San Francisco, when we were down in LA where Papa John lived.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of hanging out. It was like,
different worlds, right? We could do whole shows on the LA versus the Bay Area.
On that same session, for that album, Yorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy came down and did a guest spot on the record and played with them. That was pretty cool. 1972, Yorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy.
Were they as cool as everybody thinks? Were they like their image?
They were cool. Yeah. And Kaukonen is a real proponent of acoustic blues. I never thought that a guy that could play guitar that loud would play acoustic blues. Yeah.
Now, one of your many Grammys, just going over a few of them, so many artists that you've collaborated with. You played with Jackson Browne, and he's an environmental and other activist. Do you share some of those passions and concerns with him?
Well, hanging out with Jackson Browne and his longtime partner, Deanna Cohen, they're some rubs off on you. Like Deanna Cohen, she's a big plastics Coalition, and she indoctrinated me into the Plastics Coalition. There's one song on my music. This one is called called "Don't Throw It Away." You know, but not the Blues Americana record. It's on the Oklahoma record. Don't throw it away. You know, and it's about plastic, like recycling. Baby, don't you throw it away. She called me and she wasn't an ask. She didn't ask me to be involved. Because no, I'm not asking. This is important. This is what's going on with the oceans. This is what's going on with all this plastic we're using. This is where it's ending up. It's very important. We need you to come get on board. And she got everybody on board. It actually changed. I mean, her and some other really powerful organizations, grassroots, really are changing the trajectory on our attitudes about plastic. And it's really great. I actually I'm watching it change in real time with the results. So I'm a little tiny part of it. So,
you're an important part. I mean, if we're following the science lately, they're finding that microplastics are in our bodies. So it's a serious issue.
Told me back there 10 years ago. Yes, it's everywhere. So, you hang around Jackson Brown and you're going to get some environmental consciousness on you.
Well, you're a very conscious fellow. Yeah. And now you also worked with a very interesting person. You worked with Marty Scorsese on the Great Blues series. I had a strange couple of meetings up with him when I worked at the old Sound One Studios in the Brill Building in New York, where Carole King and so many others got their start.
Man, wow! What did you do at the Brill Building? Oh, sorry.
We used to mix there. Sound One was an incredible mixing studio there. We used to do.
You don't look old enough to work in the Brill Building.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll say that back. Say that back to you.
You don't look old enough to have worked in the Brill Building.
Well, thank you very much. You can be on the show anytime.
You were done. That was a long time ago.
Yes, indeed.
Had to be mixing too.
Yeah.
I guess you bumped into Carole King and.
I brought Carole King to also got the Gershwin.
And Barry Mann.
Great, yes, indeed. Cynthia Weil. Carol's another wonderful human.
Who else was in that Brill Building? All of those legendary writers that were writing in there.
Didn't Neil Diamond do some work there?
He might have. But you know who has their own Brill, West Coast Brill Building? And Diane Warren.
There you go.
She's got her own Brill Building. Fantastic.
Wow, we're probably talking over the heads of some of our audience now. Hopefully some of
they can Google it.
That's right. They could little chat GPT will get them there. Yeah, what was it like working with Scorsese? He was that was in the 80s, okay, and I can't I'm not going to say here everything that went on. He was an interesting
Scorsese. He's very enthusiastic. He's very passionate about film and what he does. And I was in an interview with him with myself and Corey Harris, and he was talking a lot. And, the interview was I mostly sat there in support of Corey Harris, because in that moment, I think Corey Harris had more to say about, the blues and the connection to Africa and stuff that I did. So I just sent him, we played a little song, I think, there, something together, and it's pretty cool.
Well, Kev, the only reason I hedged my statement there on Garth was because I also, I'm proud to call Lyle Lovett a friend, and he's also coming to the Mahaiwe this summer, and I think you've collaborated with him.
Movie called
see him much in Nashville? Or?
He lives in Austin.
Oh.
Yeah. But we collaborated on a film called Mumford on a Bruce Springsteen song called "Till It Shines." Yeah, so we collaborated on that. And that's pretty cool. That's what I'm about. You know. I ended up doing a tour with him. We worked on a tour and went out, and he was very nice to me. He was a very nice man, and smart and well dressed.
Yes, he is.
Very dapper man.
He is styling. Lyle is styling.
Lyle around with style and Lyle.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
I think he's doing something he did before, I think with John Hyatt. He's doing a kind of conversation and song with Lisa Loeb.
Yeah.
That's the tour he's on now.
Yeah, he does those. He does the large band,
right?
Smaller band, and then he does the one-on-one with different artists.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you bring into the Mahaiwe? What can we expect on June 15th?
I'm bringing my 4-piece band, and I'm gonna bring a big smile, and we will have some songs prepared, and we're gonna like show up, and we're gonna do our very, very best, and I'll be grateful, and we're going to make sure that the people have the time of their lives and they leave happier than they came in.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's look, it's so great to have all this back again. What was the pandemic like for you? What were those few years like?
Oh, it was interesting. It was a vacation, and it was we renovated our house during that time. And the pandemic, we were just starting and the pandemic hit. But I think it was a good time to work on music. It's a good time to be home, and then we started going out a little bit, and it was scary, you know. So, but we I don't remember now. I wrote a song about it called "Medicine Man." You know, the pandemic. And I thought it would be kind of a novelty. Recorded with the Old Crow Medicine Show. I thought it would be kind of like a novelty that we could do. But people still want to hear it.
Yep. Ketch Secor is also someone I'm proud to call a friend, and did one of these remote, kind of musical performances with him during the pandemic. It was,
Yeah, man, he's cool, man. I think I owe him a phone call. I gotta call him up and just say, let's do something else. I like working with the Old Crow, man. They're cool.
Yes, indeed. Now, one other person, just for a moment more on the pandemic, that I think you also collaborated with, that I love, and I go back to meeting and seeing when he first came to New York, and back in 70, 71, John Prine. That's and of course he had real health issues, but, the pandemic, took him out. It was sort of heartbreaking for so many.
I did some shows with him back in the day, and I got a chance to, after one of those shows that I did with Bonnie, he came in. I remember I sat down and he talked to me for about 30 minutes about his, how he was a mailman, and I love this show. He's in the top one list of songwriters, I think.
Indeed.
His songwriting is so prolific. He put on, I've kind of put him and Bob Dylan in the same vat of brilliance. They're very different, but and it's as a performer, he is so riveting. Just is. And when I saw him perform, it was just like the most honest, simple, unpretentious, heartfelt performance I've ever heard. I like to put him on when I'm doing something, like I'm painting a room, not painting, but painting. He's doing some kind of like, he's just nice. Wow, yeah.
Well, he's terribly missed. Kev, finally, more recordings, your own or others coming up? What else should your fans be looking for?
I guess I'm working on a new Taj Mo album with Taj Mahal. That's going to be the next thing coming out the gate. And I'm real excited about that. We didn't think we'd be doing a second one, but we are. So, I'm going to work on some songs. That's what I'm getting ready now. I mean, I'm preparing this play, the space in here. Next time I talk to you, that wall will be a different color. I have some treatment on it. It'll be just a little room I can just sit, kind of like a laboratory, you know. I can do some acoustic guitar overdubs in here and stuff.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it, and I know that everybody watching and everybody who loves music will too. Keb Mo, thank you so much for taking time out to talk to us today, and really appreciate it.
Real pleasure talking to you. You know, you really, and you all the work you do with Smithsonian and all that stuff, and to get in with you, I'm really honored, and thank you so very much. And all that from the Brill Building, man. I'm like, rock and roll, baby.
Colony Records, if you remember that one, and the ground floor there, Keb. Thank you very much again. We look forward to seeing you, folks. I'm Dalton Delan, and if you're already a reader and subscriber to the Berkshire Eagle, thank you. If you're not yet, please consider becoming one. That's how you meet people like Keb Mo and hear more about all the wonderful things going on out there in the world that you can be a part of. I'll see you next time on Eagle Reels and in the pages of the Berkshire Eagle.